Mic check 1 2. 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 Let's get started. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, dudes and dudettes, the sexy and the not so sexy, big children and little. I am the novelist, author, poet, Lamont Anthony Wright, aka Graffiti Bleu. Cut my beard like all the way off and it's already freaking growing back. Rest is amazing. You freaking heal and you freaking all. But let's get right to it. Enough about me. The title of this podcast is the Just My Thoughts podcast. I am your host, Graffiti Bleu. The name of this one is Cole, Kendrick, and Drake. War ain't for everybody. Cole, Kendrick, and Drake. And we all know who I'm talking about. J. Cole, of course, Kendrick Lamar, and Aubrey, the big three. War ain't for everybody. We're not going to be all night with this one. This got on my radar. I don't get on the podcast a whole bunch. I don't get on talking about like current events and celebrity this and celebrity that. You know what I mean? I'm an artist first, so I'm about the art. So if it doesn't really promote the art or help the art, if I can't really talk, well, I guess I could talk about celebrities artfully. But because this had such to do with the culture of hip hop and the art within it, I had to talk about it for about 15 minutes, right? Cole, Kendrick, and Drake, War Ain't for Everybody, basically saying you're the best in hip hop culture when it comes to one of the elements of hip hop culture, which is MCing, rapping, right? If you're going to say you're the best, then you have to compete for being the best. You can't back down when it's competition time. Okay. Now, battling ain't for everybody. I battled coming up. I'll never forget the first serious rap battle I ever had was with a rapper who called himself Deva B, as in back in the day, it was a big deal to be the devastating mic controller. Everybody was devastating something. Not everybody was devastating. Everybody was either ski or D, but it was devastating was a slang word used a lot once upon a time. He called himself Deva B, and I battled him in the lunchroom at Thomas Edison, won the battle, and Surge was born, aka Graffiti Bleu, right? But if you're gonna say you're the best, and this is a competitive sport, all right, not only lyricism period is competitive. You can't do any form of writing that is not competitive. Authors are very competitive when it comes to writing. Screenplay writers, you follow what I'm saying? I'm a big fan of Quentin Tarantino, and he, if you can't write or if you try to make your own dialogue, oh my God, Quentin will go freaking apeshit on you. Be like, those aren't the freaking lines. Poets, when it comes time to poetry slams, it's amazingly competitive, and I know poets that are amazing that will never slam because they are not built for the competitive element of poetry. Okay, you know what I mean? It's a big deal. Just writing in general, it is such a taboo. If you're in hip hop and you're a lyricist and somebody finds out you don't write your own lyrics, it's a big freaking deal. The essence of hip hop is competition. You know what I mean? And there's all kinds of competition. Some of it is good, some of it is dark, some of it is light, some of it is freaking just wicked. And which brings me to my next point, and that is war is hell. It's not easy. Whether you battling and you win, whether you're in a poetry slam and you win, or if you lose, it takes a toll on you. It takes a lot of energy. Sometimes you got to go down deep, even if the competition is friendly. All right. Even if the competition is friendly, it does something to you, man. It changes you. Sometimes people tap into those dark energies. Some people tap into that dark energy to win the day. Okay. I was slamming against someone who might be your favorite poet, and I felt a little way because the tactics this poet was using, I thought was just a hair dirty, whatever. So I combated that dirt with my own. So I got a little dirty and custom made something for the judges, and I edged this battle. But that's what it takes. Lyrical warfare can cost you your career, and it can cost you your life. So we can't take J. Cole's apology, which is basically the reason why I'm even doing this freaking blog. That his diss track to Kendrick kind of pissed me off, and the freaking apology kind of pissed me off. Actually, I admired the apology. Okay, I really admired the apology because I'm a spiritual guy myself. So his words, something did not sit right in my spirit when I did that track. So he retracted it back. I am not mad, and we need more sincerity in the culture of hip hop anyway. So, bravo. I'm not particularly upset that he would apologize. What I am upset is that if that diss track that he made towards Kendrick after, which is basically a response because Kendrick drew first blood. Okay, Rambo, Kendrick drew first blood. So if you're gonna go out and apologize for responding to a diss, if you're gonna apologize for responding to a diss, then that means that your spirit wasn't right when you sat down and wrote it. Now, observing as an MC, as a lyricist, as a there are a few things I love more than words. One of them is God, and the other one is might not be able to be said on this podcast. But it is what it is. So that means that his spirit wasn't right when he wrote the rap. And when you listen to the rap, it was all cap. Well, it was mostly cap. It was 99.999% cap because a lot of it was kind of discrediting who Kendrick Lamar is in his diss, and trying to discredit his discography and things of that nature. When on one record you're talking about there's only three guys at the top and he's one of them, and then the diss track is just like I swat him away like a fly. So the whole diss track, which really wasn't a diss track, was all capped to begin with. So I understand if he wasn't feeling right to retract it. The apology didn't really piss me off. Him, his disposition, him being a follower, listening to the guys in his camp, I guess, that he should make a response. Being this seasoned in the game, falling to the peer pressure of his guys, kind of pissed me off. Be a leader and not a follower. Being a follower will get you killed. Be a leader and not a follower. So that kind of freaking pissed me off. And I don't know what if his career will stand it. I understand him not wanting an ugly beef because we all know Tupac's not here no more. BIG's not here no more. And there is a laundry list of rappers who are not here anymore because of one reason or the other. There was some sort of beef somewhere. We have rappers in prison, rappers indicted, snitches, all kinds of whatnot. Lyrical warfare freaking can cost you your career, and or your life. Bravado and competition are key elements of hip hop. So if you're claimed to be the best, you are gonna have to stand on that. You follow what I'm saying? You're gonna have to stand on that, and there's just too many frauds in hip hop as it is. You know what I mean? There's just everything is fraud. This fraud that. There's too many frauds in hip hop. We got gangsters, blah, blah, fake gangsters, sensitive thugs, fake money in videos, and rented mansions for MTV, and that's just the tip of the iceberg. We got cats that are freaking uh, undercover police in hip hop posing as rappers. We got all kinds of they trying to get scammers and all that. It's crazy out there. So I was hoping that J. Cole was a bit more authentic. And I believe he could have been authentic and still battled if he just kept it rap. Just keep it rap. If you are the best in damn near every record you've been saying, Mr. Cole, for the last 4 years, right? Then just make a track either A, proving through your lyrical dexterity that you are the best, or B, explain why you're at least better than him. And if you could have done that lyrically, you would have been the fucking GOAT. You'd have been just like, yes, Kendrick is the freaking man, but let me break down lyrically why I'm better and achieve that. Or at least provide a great argument for that shit. Then we would have all been like, we'd have looked back at Kendrick, like, what you gonna do? It would have been freaking fantastic. Why are we here? Why are we here? Why do we have so many fake elements of the hip hop culture, especially when it comes to rap music? Why do we have freaking fake gangsters, sensitive thugs, fake money in videos, rented mansions, and all of that shit? Basically, because so many artists are just too scared to be themselves. So many artists are just scared to be themselves. And why are they scared to be themselves? I heard Jay-Z say this in the Fade to Black documentary. He said, uh, people have a fear of being themselves because they feel that the public, John Q fan, you, if they be themselves, they fear they won't be accepted. If they fear if they be themselves, they won't be accepted. Now I can testify to this myself because I know because of the current climate, you know what I mean? People say you got to do this to have a good record, rap record. You got to rap like this. You got to talk like this. You know, you got to be braggadocious and bravado and whatever. I don't want to rap like that. I'm not a gangster. I can't talk about gangster shit. Why? You know what I mean? Life is hard enough. So if your record needs a hard edge, what I would do instead of talking about being a gangster, I could just paint a vivid reality of just how hard life is. You can still be a man, not necessarily be a killer. You can still be a man, and you don't necessarily have to be a thug. You can have thug tendencies. You can have thug capabilities, but you don't gotta kill anybody and go to prison to be legitimized. Right? Right. So at the end of the day, we're going to wrap this up. I'm going to end this with a Loaded Lux quote. And at the end of the day, the people decide who the best is, no matter what the artist feels like. So you can feel like you're the best all day. And in your mind, and there's nothing wrong with it, you may very well be the best. But at the end of the day, when you're here or when you're long gone, when you're dust and bones, the people, the consumers of your art, the consumers of your music, the fans, the casual passerbys, how you touched people, how you affected people, and all of that stuff will ultimately freaking decide um, in closing, I just want to say that I think J. Cole had a an amazing missed opportunity. You know what I mean? He has been on a run where he's been doing. It's hard to argue that he was not rapping his ass off for the past 5 years. I mean, the guy was really rapping with some substance. He was doing these features, and he was killing the game. So there were major milestones in hip hop that were a direct result of competition. Whether it be um, KRS-One and Boogie Down Productions getting rejected, and then through that rejection, through the spirit of competition, right? Through the spirit of competition, going back and writing the South Bronx, South Bronx, South Bronx. The competition, the spirit of competition did that. You know what I'm saying? Um, somebody calling Boogie Down Productions whack, and he going back and saying, "Well, we're whack." He said, "No, MC Shan is whack." Then he wrote The Bridge, probably one of the hardest diss records almost ever. It's got to be in my top five diss records. The Bridge, you know what I mean? The Bridge is over, rather. OMG, competition did that. You know what I mean? There's countless rap beefs, and many of them did not end pleasantly. But through the spirit of competition, we have many fantastic moments that pushed the culture forward. So if J. Cole was authentic and just said, they all know each other. They all know each other. He could have called Kendrick and be like, "Look, we're gonna keep it rap. I'm about to respond to you, and we just gonna keep. We not going. I'm not gonna get personal. I'm not gonna talk about your mama and them. I'm not gonna talk about your old lady. I ain't gonna come out because especially like how Pusha T put Drake out on Front Street, and Meek Mill, even though he took an L in his battle with Drake, Drake still had some collateral damage on him about the ghostwriting allegations. Aubrey's career was not ever the same after that beef. You know what I mean? So the rap beef can certainly get ugly. So I'm not on J. Cole about apologizing because I get it, I get it, I get it. But if you motherfuckers know each other anyway, it could have been all it could they could have just kept it rap, and it would have pushed the culture so forward. Now, Jay-Z and Nas, that one got personal, but I mean, Jesus Christ, Takeover and Ether is probably arguably one of the best back and forths of hip hop freaking history. Move the culture forward, and they were able to get past it. A couple years later, you see Jay and you see Nas on stage together, and they're freaking laughing about it. I'm just like, wow, he was really talking greasy. Y'all were talking real greasy to each other, and they was able to put it behind them because they understood that it's just rap. It's just rap. So, and Nas and Jay knew each other or knew of each other, so that's just what it was. So for J. Cole and Kendrick Lamar to actually know each other, Drake is in there too. They all freaking know each other. Are they going to each other's freaking barbecues and bar mitzvahs and all that? They all know each other. They all have each other's number. So let's stop acting like it's going to be like the East Coast West Coast beef, or it's going to be something like Biggie versus Pac or something like that, and everybody's going to die. It's not that freaking serious. I understand something was in your spirit, but you was talking, Cole. You was talking real heavy. You saying you're the Muhammad Ali. of the game, of the rap game, you're Muhammad Ali. Remember when you said that? So when faced with a challenge, I don't remember Muhammad Ali apologizing for anything. And he was talking crazy. Anyway, that's all I got to say on it. Um, I have a feeling that Drake and Mr. Lamar are gonna probably mix it up lyrically after a while. Um, the consensus, some people try to paint Drake as soft, and he may be suffering from some kind of sensitivity, this or that or whatever. But I have to give Mr. Drake credit because he didn't back down from Common. He didn't back down from Meek Mill. He didn't back down from Pusha T. You know what I mean? He had a lot of beefs, and Drake can rap. He sings, and it pisses people off. It pisses people off who love lyrics when he sings, but the dude could actually freaking rap. Hopefully, if Kendrick and Drake spar lyrically, they'll keep it rap and push the culture forward. I would love that. The culture would love that. All the freaking bloggers, everybody in the hip hop community, every lyricist from here to Budapest would love that, especially me. You know what I mean? Anyway, would love to know your thoughts. Comment, subscribe, and all of that good shit. So let's take you out of here. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, dudes and dudettes, the sexy and the not so sexy, big children and little. I'm the novelist, author, poet, Lamont Anthony Wright, aka Graffiti Blue. This is the Just My Thoughts podcast. Thank you for hanging out with your boy.